So hey girl, I'm at my endocrinologist appointment. I think I come once a year now. Been seeing the same lady since I got diagnosed when I was 30. And I'm now 43. Did you catch that? 30, 43. Anyway, had a birthday a week ago. Buried my dad a couple days before my birthday. But the silver lining in that is this. I got almost 43 years, 5 days short of 43 years with my dad, which was incredible. And my mom had brought up something like right after my dad passed. She was like, it was like the long goodbye, because if you remember, I came on and kind of talked about my dad had a medical emergency back in April, and he recovered from it well enough so that we just did have more time with him. He had more time to do his daily activities. We had more time to really soak up quality time with him. Some of those candid conversations we had while he was kind of in and out of the hospital and stuff, we never would have got that time. And so I'm saying that to encourage somebody that may be dealing with loss and grief, is that whatever time God gives you is enough. But the point of it is to make the time that he gives you, make it what it's supposed to be. Focus on the good. Focus on God's grace, because all that we have belongs to God, right? When we come here and when we leave, all that we have belongs to God. So be encouraged. I also want to drop this note. We have too much access to knowledge, information, and understanding for us as Black people to not handle our business affairs. I said it. We have way too much access to knowledge, information, and understanding to not handle our business affairs. When you know your mama and them worked all their life to pay for a home and things like that, do what you need to do. And that's one thing I can say about my mom and dad. A lot of great things, but that's something I could definitely say. You know, they always tell us and told us these are where our important documents are. Even when they both became ill at some point, and they were young, y'all, when they became sickly and disabled, but they still managed to, by the grace of God, take care of themselves and make sure that they taught my sister and I, or would tell my sister and I about what to do, how to prioritize, you know, certain things when it comes to living and taking care of your family and things like that. And that's a blessing, you know. I am first generation college graduate. My mom nor dad went to college. And so growing up, it was just not an option to not go. It was a cherry on top that I was able to go on full scholarship. But what I understood is that even if I didn't, they was gonna make sure that we both went to college. But in being a millennial and coming from baby boomers, you know, there's a feeling of not indebtedness, but like they sacrificed a lot, you know. They worked really hard. And when I say I work hard, I have worked hard in my career, 20 plus years. I've worked hard, but I've done mental work. I haven't done physical work. There's not a day really, maybe a couple days when I worked for the Y, that I did physical work. But like when I say worked, physical work, my parents did physical work. You understand me? I remember my mom working in the dry cleaners up until she started working at the school, which was probably, I think I was in 6th grade when she started working at the school. And it would be so hot in that dry cleaners in the summertime like this, they would go in at 5 and get off at 1, because it just, you know, it's a dry cleaners, it's heat presses. It was closed, a closed space. They would have a front door and a back door open, a fan blowing, but it was massively hot. We live in hot Mississippi, so you know Mississippi summers are already like saunas. But I remember she would come home early and I'd give her a kiss on the cheek. And when I give her a kiss on the cheek, I could taste the salt. You know how hot your body got to be for it to start expelling saline or sodium from your body? Do you understand me? But not just that, my dad and mom both took jobs. My dad was working for a factory at the time, because in my hometown there's furniture factories, and he was working for a factory. My mom was working for the dry cleaners, neither of which had great working conditions. But mind you, baby boomers, even if they weren't great working conditions, that was just not a thing, y'all. They were happy to have jobs. They were happy to be able to take care of their families, get a check on Friday. So that, you know, at this point I can live a plush life. And I'm just being honest. Like, when I consider my livelihood in these 20 years, it's plush compared to my parents. My parents did a lot of hard work, especially for the money that they made. So anyway, Daddy was working there. Well, they both had an idea and was like, we should try to get on in the school system as custodians. They both did. My mama got on as the elementary custodian. My daddy got on as the custodian for the junior high school. Mind you, I'm going to 6th grade. Our middle school start is 6th grade through 8th grade. And I was like, this is the worst. Who, Lord, why? Why would you let them, why would you let this be the year that I come to middle school? Mind you, when I started middle school, see, my sister was no longer in middle school. She was starting 9th grade. So I wouldn't be at the same building with her, but then also, like, my dad being at the same school. The elementary school and the middle school were basically on the same campus, just, you know, separate buildings, but like a walkover. But for them, it was such a good thing because it was real blue collar work that had a retirement system, that had much better working conditions. You know, would it get hot in the summer? Yes. Did they do some outdoor work? Not my mom. My dad did, but he didn't mow or anything. He would just like pick up paper, and he would do that early in the morning before students arrived, or while students were arriving. It was a lot of just cleaning the building. And I remember it being, for me, as a 12-year-old, I was like, oh my God, this is weird. But the silver lining was that every day, middle school, we would have a 14-minute break. We had vending machines, but they were way over in another building. Well, because my dad worked there, he would put my my snack in my locker, which every day, by the way, y'all, don't judge me, it was a Mountain Dew and a candy bar. Mountain Dew and a candy bar. It was what I requested. It wasn't Dad doing it. It was what I requested. But anyway, I would open my locker as everybody was getting ready to line up and be in that long line. And by the time you made it through to get your stuff out the vending machine, the bell would be ringing. I would just be politely eating mine. And they're like, how you get it so quick? And I'm like, that ain't your business. But anyway, come back.